손흥민이 플레이오프 2차전 오스틴과의 원정 경기에서 평점 8점이 넘는 매운 활약으로 선제골과 두 번째 골 도움까지 올리면서 LAFC의 컨퍼런스 준결승 진출을 이끌었습니다. 10분까지 터치조차 거의 없었다가 터치만 하면 경기 상황을 바꿔버리면서 그러니까 상대를 초긴장 상황으로 만들어버리는 거죠. 원터치 힐패스로 패스해준 것도 기가 막혔고 19분에 손흥민의 원맨쇼로 수비수를 제끼고 완벽한 마무리. 이어서 4분도 안 돼서 이번에 왼쪽이 아닌 오른쪽에서 다른 수비수를 상대해보려고 했는데 아예 수비수는 보이지도 않았고 골키퍼가 뛰쳐 나오게 되었습니다. 손흥민이 포지션을 옮기면서 교란작전까지 성공을 한 거죠. 그리고 손흥민은 침착함을 잃지 않고 부안가에게 패스해주면서 두 번째 골이 완성되고 부안가 골, 손흥민의 어시스트로 이때 이미 팀 승리가 결정됐다고 봐도 됩니다. 이번 준결승 진출은 매우 큰 의미가 있는데요. LAFC는 지난 4년 동안 컨퍼런스 준결승에서 진출한 최초의 MLS 팀이다. 2022년, 2023년, 2024년에 이어서 2025년도 컨퍼런스 준결승에 진출했고 4연속 진출한 최초의 팀이 됐다라고 LAFC 구단이 직접 전했습니다. 3개월 전에 손흥민이 없었을 때는 상상도 못했던 일일 것입니다. LAFC를 알아갈 때도 창단 7년치고 미국에서 B클럽이라고 하긴 하는데 어디가 B클럽인 건지 좀 받아들이긴 좀 힘들었고 손흥민이 이곳에서는 정말 우승할 수 있을까 의심도 있었던 게 사실입니다. 근데 결과는 손흥민이 출전한 전체 12경기에서 단 1패만을 겪었을 뿐이고 무엇보다 올 시즌 한 번도 이기지 못한 팀을 한 번도 골을 넣지 못한 팀에게 두 경기 무려 6골이 나오고 그 경기에서 1차전 기회 창출만 8번으로 팀 승리를 이끌면서 MOM에 선정되고 2차전에서도 맹활약으로 미국 축구 역사의 최초의 기록을 또 써내려갔습니다. 이번 경기 대승의 MLS 방송에서는 이 전술은 밴쿠버에 똑같이 해도 통할 것이라면서 이번 승리의 경기력을 매우 높이 평가했는데요. 자, 한번 보시죠. 그리고 이어서 나오는 LAFC 찐팬은 LAFC 팬이 아니라 그냥 손흥민 팬인 것 같아요. 저보다 더 팔이 안으로 굽으면서 손흥민을 손흥민만 극찬하는데요. 그 영상까지 함께 보겠습니다.
Danny, you said they're the best transitional team in Major League Soccer. Sash, they may have played their last game at home already this season. How impressed were you with LAFC on the road today?
They were very good, and I really liked that Steve Cherundolo started with Ordaz. So in the first game, he played with 3 center midfielders and 2 strikers in Son and Bouanga. In this game, he switched it to 2 center midfielders and 3 attackers, and I think it gives more clarity to the team. Not only how to set up defensively, but in attack as well, because we know Bouanga likes to operate on that left side. So it puts Ordaz on the right, Son is in the middle. He has the opportunity to drop deep and get on the ball like a playmaker. Bouanga and Ordaz stretched the game. I think this lineup worked perfectly for them. And I wouldn't be surprised if he rolled out the exact same lineup against Vancouver. They were on it from the first moment and deadly in transition.
You've got a group of players that have so much belief in Son and Bouanga. And you can see that they're saying to Son and Bouanga, stay out of the way. You do whatever you want to do. We'll do the extra work for you because we know that you're going to be the difference makers up front. And when you've got players that are prepared to do that dirty work, so these two can shine, it's a match made in heaven.
And then on the other side of the field, you have Porteous and Segura, who have been the incumbents at center back. You have the switch with Tafari coming out of the team and Jailson, the new signing, coming in. And I thought he was really composed in that back line tonight. And even at halftime, Marc Dos Santos said, look, we have to be better in our own box. We know they're going to send in crosses and create chaos. They won everything in the air. Austin pushed, they put numbers in the box, they tried to win duels, they created one decent chance with Obrian in the second half, but other than that, it was a dominant performance from the LAFC center back. Steve Trundle is going to leave this game thinking, I got everything perfect. The game plan worked perfect. Now you go and you get prepared for a massive conference semifinal.
LAFC are one of the very few teams playing in a back three. You think, OK, it's a back five, now it's defensive. Their back five is to defend, then fly forward quickly.
LAFC have advanced after beating Austin FC 4-1 in Game 2 of the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs, and now will play the Vancouver Whitecaps in the quarterfinals. And this was a very impressive win for LAFC and much better than their first win against Austin FC on Wednesday. And if you're an LAFC fan, you should be very, very happy with what you saw tonight. Now, honestly, when I saw the starting 11 and I saw that Morin was not playing again or starting in the starting 11, and they changed the formation a little bit. Gileson was going to be playing as more of a sweeper or a defensive midfielder. I was a little skeptical, and they had Nathan Ordaz playing on the right wing. I was a little skeptical about this. I thought if they were going to make any changes that Morin would be one of the people that would be starting or someone else. And I was surprised that Chouanier didn't start, but this lineup worked. LAFC returned to their lethal scoring self, and they looked absolutely incredible. And it started off with none other than Son Heung-min. Son Heung-min was incredible today. Incredible. In the 21st minute, he scored a clinical goal. Clinical. He cut left, shot with his left foot to the right side, went through the goalkeeper's or over the goalkeeper's foot, and then another Austin FC defender tried to slide and clear the ball, was unable to. I mean, it was just an incredible finish by Son Heung-min, and that set the tone for this match that made me believe, okay, LAFC is going to fire on all cylinders. And then just 4 minutes later, Son Heung-min is on the right side of the field. He's got Denny Bwanga wide open in the middle, in the box, and he passes it. It deflects, goes back to him, but then he finds Denny Bwanga. He's wide open. And I thought, okay, if Denny Bwanga misses this ball, if he misses this chance, you got to bench him. Not really, but you just wonder, how do you miss that? Denny, it's on a platter for you. Sony is setting you up perfectly. You got to finish this chance. He buried it. Denny Bwanga buried it. Puts LAFC up 2-0. Then you're thinking, okay, this game is going to be ugly. Then Denny Bwanga gets the ball again in the 44th minute and scores to get his brace in the first half of this game. And then a lot of you guys who have been watching all these games, especially the last couple months, know that normally when Sonny and Bwanga score like this, normally one of them score a hat trick. And with Bwanga having a first half brace, you thought, okay, there's a real possibility he could finish with a hat trick, or Sonny can maybe get a brace himself, or Sonny was going to help him try to get that hat trick and finish it off. But they were absolutely, they were clicking and they were firing on all cylinders. 3-0 at the half. Actually, they had the penalty. Austin FC did have the missed penalty by Uzuni that Hugo Lloris saved. He kicked it right into his hands. Then they got awarded another penalty after a foul on Porteous to actually pull it back one to go 3-1, in the first half, not 3-0. And the game was, even though that happened, it felt like LAFC was just completely dominating. Austin FC don't have the attackers in the final third to really compete with a team like LAFC, especially when Sonny and Denny Bwanga are scoring like this. Very, very good half we saw from LAFC. Really no issues. Then in the second half, I thought to myself, well, is Steve Cherundolo, going to park the bus, or is he going to play aggressive and try to run up the score? We know that sometimes he gets conservative and he doesn't really play the same style the whole 90 minutes. And that's kind of what happened. LAFC looked a little tired and sluggish in the second half. There wasn't a lot of really chances created. I mean, if you look at their first half stats, LAFC had 9 shots in the first half. 3 were on target, to Austin FC 6 shots and 2 on target. But in the second half, they did have 9 shots, 2 and 2 on target. But if you just watching the game, the eye test, they just didn't look as dangerous in the final third as they did in the first half. They played a little bit slow. Like they were just kind of hold the lead. It's what Steve Cherundolo does. He'll play the game where he parks the bus and he just wants to keep the score line the same and just hold on to the win, which can be dangerous because there were several chances that Austin FC had in the second chance where they could, or the second half where they could have drawn this game level or cut the deficit. They were really, really trying to make a late push, especially like in the 70th minute going forward to try to level this game. They just don't have the attacking talent to do that. So we saw LAFC return to their old self where they're scoring in droves. They look unbeatable. Son Heung-min and Denny Bwanga, the best duo in Major League Soccer. Son plus Denny equals goals. That's what it is, right? That's how, and I even have a shirt made that says that, because that's what happens when these guys get on the pitch and they're playing their best game. And not many teams can stop that, especially a team that can't score goals like Austin FC. So they're able to close out this series. and we'll see what they're able to do going forward. But this was a much better game than it was in game one. We saw last night, if you watched the league, we saw Inter Miami lose to Nashville SC to make that series go to game three. I was wondering if LAFC were going to be able to have a good performance and close this series out and get a break. 2-0, sweep this series, get that break, prepare for the next series, and they are able to do that. I was a little nervous at first, but they are able to do that. So this was a great game, great rebound or great game after that poor performance in the first game. I don't think that they looked their best compared to what we've seen in previous matches, but they really, really solidified it. They really, really looked a lot better in this match than they had in previous games. And I think Sonny is probably my man of the match. I know Denny had the 2 goals and the 1 assist, but this thing wouldn't have gotten going if it wasn't for Son Heung-min. Both of them got pulled out before the full 90 to get that rest. And I think that this was the easiest series in the entire playoffs for them. They rolled by, swept. Now they're going to get close to 3 weeks off, which is a little bit scary or not ideal because it kind of slows the momentum down of the excitement for the MLS Cup playoffs. It also can cause a little bit of rust because some of these players aren't going to be playing for 3 whole weeks. You don't want to see that, especially at this level. So that's a little bit of a downside to winning this early, but we'll see if that affects them. I don't know. What's more, they're going to be playing Vancouver Whitecaps in the second round or the quarterfinals of the MLS Cup playoffs. That's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. And we'll break it down when it gets closer, predictions and stuff like that. But I want to point this out, guys. LAFC have to go to Vancouver, win that game, and it's a single elimination match. So if LAFC lose, they're out. If Vancouver lose, they're out. There is a lot riding on this game. It's going to be a huge matchup in 3 weeks. Now, the good news is that both teams are off for 3 weeks, so it's not like one has to play more or less. It's going to be equal. Both teams are going to have the same amount of time off, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be probably the best matchup in the entire playoffs outside of the final between the Eastern and Western Conference because of how good both of these teams are. And if LAFC will play like they did today, I don't think there's anybody in the league that can beat them. But they have to play like they did today, and they have to have other players on the team step up and play well, like Ordaz or Tillman. Tillman was bad today again. I don't rate Tillman very highly. I don't know about you guys. I don't think Tillman's that good, but they need Tillman, Delgado, Chouanier, the back line, Porches, the Segura, whoever it may be. These guys have to step up around Son Heung-min and Denny Bouanga if they want to win an MLS Cup. And Hugo Lloris, huge shout out to Hugo Lloris. He had an incredible game. A lot of key saves, the penalty save. The French goalkeeper went back in the time machine to pull out a very, very good performance. And he deserves a lot of praise and a lot of credit for what he did. But like I said, they're going to have to play more consistently.
제가 정보를 잘못 드린 점이 있었는데 LAFC 준결승 경기는 이제 한국 시간으로 11월 22일이나 23일 중에 열리게 되는 거고요. 손흥민은 곧바로는 아니겠지만 이제 한국으로 돌아와서 한국 축구 역사상 최초의 e포트를 완성할 A매치 2경기를 치르러 오게 됩니다. 그 경기는 14일 금요일과 18일 화요일입니다. 네, 정리 끝! 네, 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 흰수염고래였습니다.